Okay, so we're talking about the timing of a vault throw. And what we had talked about in your video is that you're going down and having trouble throwing a flat disc from this position. Now, it's pretty awkward. You really have to supinate your hand a lot. So supinate is when you make a cup of soup with your hand. Anytime that your disc has too much angle, you can add more supination and that makes the disc more flat. Okay, so if you're throwing any of your throws like that, if you supinate, they come off flatter, right? So the other thing too, you wanna make sure that you're working on your floater toss happening right in the spot where you're posing it. If you're dropping your arm and then you're trying to do it from this position, it becomes a big variable for the dog of where the disc placement's going to be, okay? So when I throw my vault tosses, I do it while I'm still standing. I give the cue for the dog, I say vault, throw, and then I go down. My dogs obviously, they know the behavior of going off of the platform first. I teach that usually on a box or a pedestal. I'll pose and I'll have the dog hit the pedestal and take the disc. For vaults, you get it up early enough if you throw it right away before you go down, and then your body becomes the trigger. So it would actually look like if I'm doing an onside vault, which is on the outside of my body, right? My dog would be over here. I would say vault, that's my pose. And then as soon as I disengage from the dog, I look at my disc, which is super important. You don't know if it's a good throw if you're not watching your disc. Also, I have a control grip on the disc here. I have my finger on the rim, which is gonna help with my disc stability and the spin. So I'm gonna pose up here. I'm gonna show the dog. I have an eye on my dog over there. I'm gonna say vault, and then I'm gonna throw, and I'm gonna go down. Now, because I'm throwing from this position, it's a lot easier to make that throw. It doesn't take nearly as much effort, and because it has such a nice spin, it stays up longer. So I don't have to worry about it being too late. So I'm throwing while the dog is still on the ground. Dog's over there, vault, now the dog's gonna go. As soon as I make this motion, dog is gonna go. That's the trigger, like that. And what happens is the dog doesn't leave the ground until the disc is already on there. They can target it accurately, they can see it right away, and they don't have to change the trajectory on your back. And they also don't have to vault to a blind target. That's really helpful. For an offside vault, which is what I more commonly do with my dogs, it's an underneath throw. The pose would be up here. If I don't have two discs, I could just pose with my hand. My dog would just know my hand is a flag, but if you have two discs, you would pose with your offhand. You would communicate to the dog there, the vault toss, right? And again, body is the trigger. So as soon as I go down, I throw it up and I watch my disc. So I'm watching my invisible dog over there. I'm saying vault, this is my pose. Now, keep an eye on where my hand is. My disc is gonna go to that same spot, and I'm gonna watch my disc as I throw it. So I'm not activating my throwing hand at all. I'm not gonna distract the dog. Dog is over there. I'm gonna say vault. This is my pose. As soon as I go down, see I'm still standing. Disc is already loaded. So by the time I'm getting down in the vault position, I've already thrown the disc. So the dog is still on the ground. They can see the disc when they're leaving, and then it's not